Everybody, thanks for joining us, being able to be here today. And the reason we're here is for Marcus Jefferson's IEP annual review, and here at Lincoln Heights Elementary School. And so we're going to be going over his IEP, and that way we can get it going. So my name is Gabriel Rogers, and I am his case manager here at the Lincoln Heights Elementary School for his fifth grade. If each of you want to go around and introduce yourself, so we know who all we're working with.
I'm Hannah Vick. I'm the LEA representative here at Lincoln Heights.
My name is Gregory Willard, and I'm the general education teacher.
My name's Yolanda Dorsey, and I'm his aunt.
My name is Garrett. I'm the counselor here at Lincoln Heights.
My name is Joseph McCory, and I'm the school-based psychologist.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all being here. And like I said, we'll go through this, and we'll go through and kind of go through his IEP. Each of you have a copy of this IEP, and so we'll go through and talk about it. And at the end, we'll have to, we'll go over it and have to sign some stuff. Each of you should have a record of access that we would sign that says that we have went into his IEP and that we looked at it and went over it. And so we'll also sign that, and that way we can put that into his records as well. And so starting off, okay, here, Marcus Jefferson, birth date is 11/18/2014, and he is in grade 5 here at the school. I know that you'll also have a piece of paper to sign too, saying that we went over the ESY services, which is the extended school year services. And this is just for a child that we feel like over the course of the summer that he may forget everything that we've kind of gone over and discussed throughout the school year. And so we would need for him to come to school during the summer. Based off of observation and teachers and testing, we don't think that that's something that's necessary for him. And so we have put that the ESY services are not necessary for Marcus. So again, that's something that's not necessary for him. So going into the strengths of the student, Marcus is a bright and curious learner who demonstrates strong interpersonal communication skills and enjoys storytelling and discussion when sharing his ideas. He is very cooperative and peer-friendly, which helps him foster positive relationships. Marcus expresses creativity and focus when engaging in design-based tasks such as drawing, music, and hands-on projects. He benefits greatly from activities that promote learning, interactive, visual, and collaborative, and his visual and verbal comprehension skills aid his understanding of concepts when working on assignments. The parental concerns for enhancing the education. So again, this comes from his aunt, Miss Dorsey. She's here, so she can add to this. But Marcus is currently under the kinship of his aunt. And she is concerned about his difficulty in staying focused, completing assignments, and his below average performance in math. And she would like for Marcus to receive extra support in these areas of math to help build foundational skills in those subject areas, and hopes that these supports outlined in this plan will help him build confidence and be successful in the classroom. Do you have anything else to add?
No, sir.
Okay. So, the student preferences and or interests. So Marcus enjoys art and design, especially drawing cars and creating comic designs. He also enjoys opportunities to express creativity through music, storytelling, and hands-on activities. He is motivated by opportunities to engage with his peers and work collaboratively. And so I know the general ed teacher for math in here, Mr. Willard's here. Would you kind of say the same thing about Marcus?
Yes, I mean, he struggles at times staying on task. I feel like he always needs somebody to be by his side so he can get extra help from the special education teacher. He does struggle in different areas, but I feel like the more he tries and get better, that things will work out, and that even like with me trying to assist him by staying on task, moving him to the front of the class so he won't get off topic or whatever. And I feel like he will do a better job of staying on task with the special education teacher.
And so that's something that we've been working on, and we'll kind of discuss it some more, Miss Dorsey, and some things that you can work with him at home as well. Since I know he's staying with you, and these are some things that you can work on as we get to it. So based on his most recent evaluations, Marcus was tested and is served under the OHI, which is the other health impairment for ADHD. And he is also served under SLD, which is specific learning disability in the area of math. And so based on some of his mathematics achievements through the Woodcock-Johnson achievement test, these grades, we'll go over the 1.5s or the 1.9s. That's kind of telling you what grade level he's at. So if he's in fifth grade, to be at grade level, it would be applied problems. He should have a 5 or, something close to that. So this kind of shows you where he is in his learning. So the applied problems was at a 1.5, calculation at 1.9, math fluency through addition was a 2.0. His math fluency and subtraction was 1.8. Quantitative concepts was a 2.3, and so his total math composite was a 1.9. So showing that he is several grades below in math. And written language spelling, he was at 2.2, writing samples 2.1, writing fluency 2.0. And then through his cognitive testing, working memory index, he was tested at the low average, processing speed was low, verbal comprehension was average, and visual spatial was high average. So again, going back to some of his strengths, being a verbal speaker, and some of the things that he likes to do and being able to talk, he's really good at. So that's good and positive. So on the back side of this first page, we get into the academic, developmental, and functional needs of the student. And so this is just kind of going over and telling us the things that he has, what's wrong, or the disability, and why he receives services. It's nothing that's bad. This is kind of going over and telling us why he does have the services he has. So Marcus's disabilities, including ADHD and attentive type, if I can say it right, and specific learning disability in math problem solving, significantly hinders his progress in the general education curriculum. Currently, he is functioning below grade level in both math and written expressions, and shows difficulty completing multi-step directions, sustaining attention during independent work, and completing tasks within the expected time frame. Developmentally, Marcus shows minimal difficulty presenting verbal, visual, or hands-on activities. However, he tends to avoid written tasks, which limits his ability to show mastery of the content in traditional formats. And so, again, based off of where he is academically, developmentally, and functionally, this is why we're having this meeting, and this is why we're going to give him the services that he needs so that he can thrive in the general education setting. Do you know, I know we've got in here that there's no known medical conditions that would hinder his academic performance. Ms. Dorsey, do you know of anything? I know you've recently received him and you're caring for him. Do you know if there's any other medical issues or medication that he may be taking that we can add to this?
No, sir, not at this time. I just know he has the ADHD meds, and that's it.
Okay. All righty. Well, we'll note that in there, and that may be something as he gets older and goes through, that may be something that can can change where we can have something in there if he's taking medicine or something. That way, those teachers down the road would know that if he's on medication or if he's not on medication. I know we have students that are sometimes on medication, and we'll get messages from their parents saying, "Hey, we forgot to send his medication today." And so just that'll be in there for us and the teachers down the road, that they'll know, hey, he's on medication. He's supposed to take medication. So if he's kind of acting different, we kind of know if that may be an indicator that he's not has missed his medication or forgot to take it or something's going on. So
Does he take his medicine at home, or is he taking it at school?
We want him, trying to get him to make sure he take it at home, because hopefully by the time he get to school, you see the difference in him. You won't see him so hyperactive and run around and not attentive. So that's what we're trying to stay on top of and get him to do. Take it at home.
okay, well, I'll put that in there, and that can be something that we can monitor, that he takes it at home. And if it's something, I know that there's some students that after lunch they will go to the nurse, and she has medication. I don't know if they take like a dose at home and then they take a dose after, just to try to spread it out. But that's why we're wanting to put it in here. So if that need arises, we can make that adjustment.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So we'll move on. Again, we'll go over some of the special education factors. I'm going to list them all out, and for all of these are no's, but I'll go through and mention what they are, and then all of these are no's. So, does the student have behavior which impedes his or her learning of others? That's a no. Does the student have a behavioral intervention plan? That is a no. Does the student have limited English proficiency? Does the student need instruction in Braille and the use of Braille? Does the student have communication needs? Does the student need assistive technology devices and or services? Does the student require specifically designed PE? Is the student working toward alternative achievement standards and participating in the Alabama alternate assessment? And are transition services addressed in this IEP? And like I said, all of these are no. As far as transportation, the student's mode of transportation, I know that he is able to ride a regular bus, but I know on here, I think that he's a car rider, I know, so I'm not sure if you're bringing him but I know he's a car rider on here, but he is able to ride the bus if need be. There's no need for specially required transportation. He is also able to participate in non-academic and extracurricular activities. And then the annual goal progress reports will be sent to the parents each time the report cards are issued, which is every 9 weeks. So going over the next ones we don't have to worry about his transitions, because that's not until he gets into 8th grade. Once he gets into 8th grade, going into 9th grade, that's when these transition services will be implemented throughout the remainder of his tenure with an IEP through high school. So we don't have to worry about that just yet. That'll be something we'll deal with later on. So getting into his goals. Okay, so we're going to have 2 math goals for him this year, and a behavior goal that we're working towards for Marcus this year. And so again, kind of going back and reiterating this present level of academic achievement and functional performance. So this is just saying kind of where he struggles and why we feel that he has the need for IEP and accommodations. So Marcus, being a 5th grade student with specific learning disability in the area of math, is performing at a 1st and 2nd grade range of applied problems, calculations, fluency, and quantitative concepts. He can solve single-step addition and subtraction problems, but struggles with regrouping, multi-step operation problems, and higher-level reasoning, along with his ADHD diagnosis, which significantly impacts his ability to sustain attention during classroom instruction and completion of independent work. He does, however, have strengths in verbal comprehension and visual spatial reasoning, allowing him to process content more effectively when instruction is scaffolded and supported with visual aids. So, so for his first goal, which is M, this is the standard in math 5.1.3. By the end of the school year, Marcus will be able to write, explain, and evaluate simple numerical expressions involving the 4 operations to solve up to 2-step problems, including expressions with parentheses, brackets, or braces, and applying commutative, associative, and distributive properties with at least 80% accuracy in 4 out of 5 trials as measured by teacher assessments, classroom assignments, and progress monitoring data. His other math goal is M56, where it is by the end of the school year, Marcus will be able to fluently multiply multi-digit whole numbers using the standard algorithm in 4 out of 5 trials, or 80% mastery as measured by data collection, work samples, and teacher-made assessments, observations. And then these will be the types of evaluations that we're using for these are curriculum-based assessments, data collection, teacher observation, and work samples. We do have some benchmarks for Marcus this year, to where we're hoping that once we get to a certain part of the year, and by January, so when we get halfway through the year, we've got some benchmarks where we're hoping that Marcus is at, so it shows us that he's progressing and doing well. And so by January 2026, given 2 digits by 1-digit multiplication problems, Marcus will be able to correctly compute the product using standard algorithm with 60% accuracy in 4 out of 5 trials as measured by assignments in class. And then the other benchmark is by January 2026, Marcus will be able to write and evaluate numerical expressions involving a single operation through addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division with 60% accuracy in 4 out of 5 trials as measured by class assessments and created by the teacher. So hopefully halfway through the year, that's kind of where we're wanting to be at with Marcus, and that kind of gives him a goal to be working towards as well. So that's something that he can shoot for, so he feels like that he's making progress as well. Now for his behavior goal, because of his ADHD, he has a behavior goal. It's not necessarily saying that he has a behavior problem. It's just saying that this is something that we're trying to work on as far as getting him to stay structured and stay attentive. And so by the end of the school year, when given visual reminders, structured prompts, and positive reinforcement, Marcus will increase his abilities to stay on task during independent or small group classroom activities by remaining engaged for at least 20 consecutive minutes in 4 out of 5 opportunities as measured by teacher observation and data collection. And this will be across all standards. This is also when he goes to meet with the counselor, because he meets with the counselor some, as well as the school psychologist, which he meets with once a month as well. And so this is where all this stuff is kind of monitored through this. And so that's what we're looking at as far as his behavior goal. So the next thing that we're getting close to the end, is going over his actual services. And so for Marcus, in this education box, if you're looking at it, for the services for math remediation, so this is under the special education tab, so he's going to be receiving math services, and so these will be weekly, and so he will have 45 minutes weekly where he will be in the general education classroom, and also sometimes he will be coming to the resource room where he will be receiving those specialized instructions, and then working towards meeting those goals. In the area of behavior, strategies, and instructions, again, weekly for 30 minutes. This will also be done in the resource room. And this, again, is just going over his strategies. Also, the counselor and the psychologist will also be working with him in strategies to help him during this time as well. Related services are not needed. Supplementary aids and services, these are things that will help Marcus in the classroom. I was wanting to pull something up real quick if I can find it. Let's see here. Going over this. Let's see. In his services. So again, these will be allowed in the classroom. These are accommodations that will be allowed in the classroom. So preferential seating. Usually this is where we have the student seated close to the teacher or away from things that are distracting. So that way we can try to keep him on task. Any lengthy assignments or projects are broken into smaller portions or chunks with periodic progress checks and sped collaboration. And allowing more time to complete assignments. This is if the student has made acceptable progress with the initial time allowed. He will be given extended time to help him finish those assignments. And then the school-based psychologist will meet. He will meet with him monthly for 30 minutes. 30 minutes monthly, and that will also be done in either the resource room or in another room wherever the psychologist is working at that time. Sometimes they may be in the conference room, but wherever that is. Marcus doesn't need any program modifications, and then for accommodations needed for assessments. These are some things that will allow Marcus when he's testing. And so this will go across all settings, teacher, the classroom and or resource room, to try to keep him from having distractions, having small group testing for him, extended time to complete tests. And then if he does make anything below a 60, he will get to have one retake on those tests. And so those are the accommodations that he will have for his testing. Now, as Marcus, Miss Dorsey, as Marcus gets older, and if he gets better, some of these, as the general education teacher or the LEA or myself, some of these accommodations we can always change. And then if there's something that you feel or need that you think would help or that works well, you can always meet with us. We can have an amendment to the IEP and have those accommodations added at a later date if that's something that needs to be done. Or if something is not ever used and we don't need it and it's not useful, we can remove it. So just letting you know.
Okay.
All right.
So based on all that, the support for personnel, that's something that's not needed. And so getting down here, the transfer of rights, least restrictive environment. Does the student attend the school he or she would attend if non-disabled? Yes. Does the student receive all special education services with the non-disabled peers? No. And the reasoning behind that is, where was I? Let me see. I had that written down. I don't know. Where was it? I was going through and making some modifications as we was going.
According to my notes, Marcus is able to function at 80% in the normal gen ed classroom. So that would disqualify him from being strictly special ed and taking
Right.
part in the.
And I've got it right here. Due to Marcus's difficulties with math calculations, he requires the small group intervention in the resource room and the instruction in those specific areas to better access the generalized fifth grade curriculum, which goes back to the 80% of the day is inside of the general education classroom. So that's the reason that we have that marked as a no. He's 6 through 21 years of age. And again, that least restricted environment is the O1, which is 80% to 100% of his day is spent inside the general education classroom. And since we're all here at this meeting, I'll be able to once we sign everything and get everything finalized, we'll be able to sign off on this, and I'll be able to give you your copy of the IEP. And let's see, I don't have it, but I'll give it to you whenever we give you the copy of the IEP, the special education rights. So this is just a document that goes through and tells you everything of the rights of the student. And so at this time, did anybody else have anything that they needed to say or expand on from this IEP meeting as far as Marcus and?
Yeah, so throughout our weekly meetings with between me and Marcus, I got the chance to talk to him about what he prefers in his education. He is a bit of a social person. He does prefer to be around his peers. He does well around his peers, but as we mentioned in the meeting, he definitely does need these accommodations that we've talked about. I think it was great how you mentioned retakes with grades below 60, and he does need separation from distractions, as you mentioned. So I think implementing that in the classroom is really going to help him be successful and avoid getting distracted as much as he's been.
Okay, that's good. I know we had that written down. And then like I mentioned earlier, if at any time there's something, as I've always been told, this is kind of a living, breathing document. So anything that needs to be changed at any time, as far as a psychologist, you, Miss Dorsey, anything that seems that we think may help him that's not in the IEP, or something that we think that's not working and we need to remove it, we can always have a meeting, kind of like what we're having now, to where we just get together and we go over it, talk about what's working, what's not working, and then make the adjustments and have it amended, and then we can go with that. So
Ms. Dorsey, thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah. We have a great team here at Lincoln Heights, and I look forward to us working with Marcus to help him reach his full potential. And I'm excited to see his growth along the way.
Thank you. And I appreciate each and every one of you for working with Marcus and being patient with us.
Oh yeah. Well, we're excited. Like I said, he's a character, all right, and he gives us some good funny stories sometimes, because he loves telling stories. So he's got some funny ones too, so he keeps us laughing.
Thank you.
Well, at this time we all have this signature page, and so we'll go through and we'll sign off of where we were, and that'll be it. So appreciate everybody being able to attend this meeting, and like I said, if anything comes up or any changes need to be made, we can make those.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers, for helping us to lead this meeting.
All right. See y'all later. Bye.
All right.